Hi. I want to talk to you about something today. I was driving around in my car the other day, listening to the radio, and as I frequently do, I listen to informational radio things where I can learn something. And I was listening to this guy, and he was a financial planner kind of guy. Uh, has one of those radio shows, gives people advice, and he said something that I found very, very interesting. He was talking to somebody about their life and their finances and how things were going, and he made this statement: if you take the income of the five people around you that you hang around with the most, you will discover your average income. So if you hang out with five people who make $10,000 a year, and these are the people that you hang out with the most, more than likely your income is going to be somewhere close to $10,000 a year. If you hang around with five people who are all millionaires, or make from 500,000 or 200,000 to $1 million a year, more than likely your income is going to be 500,000 to $1 million a year. Now, I thought about this, and my first thought was, well, of course, if you're making $500,000 a year, then you're probably going to gravitate to other people who are making that kind of money. But then I started thinking about it. And behaviorally, if you start thinking about not in the terms of money, but in the terms of attitude, you'll discover that if you take stock in yourself and you look at the five people in your life that you associate with the most, you will see that your mindset matches those five people. So, if you're at work in the office and you hang around with the five people who whine about the business the most and complain about how hard it is, then your attitude is going to be the same as those five people's attitude. If you hang around the five people who are go-getters and innovative thinkers and have a positive attitude and look towards their future, then your attitude is going to be much like that. All right. If you hang around people who work out all the time, you're going to end up working out all the time. If you hang out with people who are depressed and whine about life all the time, you're going to find out that what happens is you all get together and get depressed and whine about life. If you hang around with five people who are drunk all the time, there's a pretty good chance that you are drunk all the time. Now, it's not a matter of influence. It's a matter of inventory. All right? And sometimes people do these things, and I don't think they're even aware that they do them. But if you think about it, here is you. All right? You're right here. All right? And you have all of these influences in your life. You have this guy, that guy, and that girl. So I'm not accused of being sexist. And that girl, and that girl. All right? Now, here's where inventory is important. Okay? If you were to say you have friend number one over here, what are the top 3 to 5 qualities that person has? Okay? What are the things that you talk about? What are the things that you have in common? Say, okay. And then do that with friend number 2, friend or associate number 3, 4, and 5. All right? And look around. Notice the 5 people that you hang around with the most. All right? And here's what's going to happen. Here's the point of self-realization that I think is important. All of these things right here are going to be true of you. All right? Or in some cases, when you really realize it and you look around, it's more like this. All right? It's like, oh crap. Now, what is the solution to this? I mean, first of all, it's the realization. All right? If you're hanging around with people who don't take risks and they're always safe and they're scared to go outside, all right? That's going to probably be the same as you. All right? If you hang out with people who are angry or they're they're just aggressive people who go out and fight and all that kind of crap. Well, more than likely you're going to be that kind of person as well. You're going to be an aggressive person. And you've got to start noticing, okay? Now, it's not that these people influence you, all right? As a matter of fact, they do, but it's more of a window to see what you're doing, all right? So let's say that you want to make a change, all right? The first change you need to make, it's like, for instance, let me give you an example, all right? I've got a friend. Believe it or not, actually, there are people who actually hang out with me on a regular basis who are friends. And one thing I notice about this particular guy is that he does tend to drink a lot. He does tend to smoke a bit more than he should. And when he's with me, when we're hanging out together, he doesn't drink. He'll have a beer or two rather than a beer or 12. All right? He doesn't tend to smoke. He'll have a cigarette rather than a pack of cigarettes. All right? And, he tends to be more interesting to talk to. Now, I've been in the same situation where this same guy is in a social situation where it's me and 5 people who are drinking and smoking. And in that situation, he tends to get pretty drunk. All right? So, I guess my point is that, yes, these people do influence you, but they either do one of two things. They pull you up to make you the best you can be, or they drag you down to make you the worst you can be. And I realize, everybody has a range that they operate in. They're not going to turn you into mass murderers. But, so the first part about this is the thing I want you to look at is after you take your inventory, you have to start making some decisions about the people that you have in your life. Do they make you a better person, okay? Or do they drag you down and suck all the energy out of you, all right? You have to make this distinction. And the first change to make is start finding better people to hang out with. People who would support how you want to be. All right, if you want to make money, if you want to be successful in business, it's probably a good idea to associate with successful business people. All right, if you want to have a positive attitude and a good outlook on life, it's probably a good idea to hang out with positive people, people who understand adversity, but they don't let it rule them, okay? If you want to be healthy, it's probably a good idea that you don't go to the buffet and make friends. All right, the all-you-can-eat buffet. That's probably not a good idea. There's one, here in Atlanta. It's the Golden Corral, and I can't eat there anymore. I can't. All right, I every once in a while it seems like such a great idea. When we do seminars, it's a great idea because it's a buffet. So everybody who's attending the seminar can go to the Golden Corral, and basically there's something there for everyone, and it's all you can eat. But I went in there for lunch about 8 months ago. I had one of my Golden Corral week moments. And I sat down and I looked around, and everybody around me weighed about 300 pounds. And then I realized that, if I kept eating in a place like this, I would soon become like them. So anyway, my point is quite simple, although I'm apparently taking a very long time to make it. Take this personal inventory. Find the 5 people around you. If you don't hang around 5 people, find the 3. Think about who you hang out with work. Who do you socialize? Who do you go out with? All right? Who do you talk to? What kinds of people are there? What are their qualities? And find out if you're in kind of like an oh shit position where you realize that you've surrounded yourself with people who support you being at the bottom end of your potential rather than the top end of your potential. So this is what I did the other day when I was riding with listening. It's really true. During the times of my life when I hang out with people who are not as successful or not as happy or not as productive or not as the way I want to be, I tend to kind of shade myself towards them. You do the same thing. It is only natural to gravitate towards people who are like you. And the first step in changing that is making this assessment and maybe starting to eliminate some of those people so that they're not the people you hang out with the most. Doesn't mean eliminate them from your life, but find some other people that actually support the way you need to be in the life you want to have.